Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Brittany Charity, and welcome back to another Saturday morning story time. Okay, we're gonna go on a little ride today, so follow along, and I hope you enjoy it. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. And little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Yeah, alright. I've been working on that one and sharing my growth. I love to share my vulnerability, and I hope that we encourage each other to do the same. Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. Alright, now, today, for the request from my mama, she requested the Beatitudes by who other but Jesus Christ, his Sermon on the Mount as read in the Gospel of Matthew and Luke, but I'm going to read the Gospel of Matthew one, I guess. I was born and raised Christian, baptized as a Catholic, and I now consider myself a comparative mythologist because my spirituality is so big. I see the common threads in all religions. I can find the universal truth. And when you speak to people of pure faith, you know, whenever it's true, it's true. And stories are us. We're humans. Humans do stories. It's our language. It's just how we are. And it's how we're wired. It's natural of us. And I think that religions have been hijacked. And I think that man is responsible for the destruction, not the mythology. So today, as a Christian mystic, I wanted to approach this. And I wanted to read Jesus' Sermon at the Mount for Easter. I thought it was very appropriate. And at this time when Christians are being just really bad in the world, I thought maybe shine a positive light. You know, maybe something Jesus would really be proud of. So I'm going to read the Beatitudes, just be. The Just-Be-atudes, the 8 Beatitudes in Matthew. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. And I want to include one from the woes, like the 4 woes from the book of Luke. It says this: Woe to you when everyone speaks well of you, for that is how their ancestors treated the false prophets. And there you have it, my mama's request. And now I want to hop over to my sister, who has a request from a special book that she discovered while we were both talking about this story time and mom's request. She had this to share. So I'm actually going to hand the torch over to her, and we're going to hear from my sister, Leyani Valdes. Take it away, Tata.
Hey everyone, Brittany Charity's big sister here. I recommended this book to her, The Divine Dance by Richard Rohr, an American Franciscan priest and writer. I know some of you might get turned off by the fact that he is a priest. I probably would have been too, but I heard him speaking on a podcast with Brene Brown, and they were talking about a lot of intellectual ideas, a lot about paradox, which really makes you feel more connected to Christianity. Being a mother of two in a not heteronormative relationship. Our girls have two moms. So kind of going back to the church is something that I really struggled with, but believing in something bigger when it is explained how Richard Rohr explains it is really special. So this book really helps a lot with just kind of reimagining how just Christianity came to be. I hope you enjoy the passages that Brittany's going to read to you. And
The Divine Dance by Richard Rohr. Whatever is going on in God is a flow, a radical relatedness, a perfect communion between three, a circle dance of love. And God is not just a dancer, God is the dance itself. Now hold on to this. This is not some new trendy theology from America. This is about as traditional as you can get. Here it is in the words of Brother Elias Marikal, a monk at the Monastery of the Holy Spirit in Conyers, Georgia. The ancient Greek fathers depict the Trinity as a round dance, an event that has continued for 6,000 years and 6 times 6,000, and beyond the time when humans first knew time. An infinite current of love streams without ceasing, to and fro, to and fro, to and fro, gliding from the Father to the Son and back to the Father, in one timeless happening. This circular current of Trinitarian love continues night and day, the orderly and rhythmic process of subatomic particles spinning round and round at immense speed echoes its dynamism. Here it is, the circle dance of the Trinity is a very traditional language, and yet, if I showed the same courage to use such a risky theatrical word today, I would probably be called New Age, esoteric, or a heretic. And yet God is the dance itself. Now let's observe this divine dance in an enigmatic story from the very first book of our sacred text that we call the Bible. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre while he was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, "If I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under this tree. Let me get you something to eat, so you can be refreshed and then go on your way, now that you have come to your servant." "Very well," they answered, "do as you say." So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. "Quick," he said, "get 3 seahs of the finest flour and knead it and bake some bread." Then he ran to the herd and selected a choice, tender calf and gave it to a servant, who hurried to prepare it. He then brought some curds and milk and the calf that had been prepared, and set these before them. While they ate, he stood near them under a tree. This account gives us a lot to chew on. The scene is set up as the Lord appearing to Abraham, but in the realm of discernible form, those appearing to him are seen as 3 men. In the centuries of reflection, theology, and storytelling that have followed this original story, these three are often regarded as angels, and perhaps something more. Abraham, bowing low before them, seems to intuitively recognize this something more and invites them to a meal and a rest. He does not join them in the meal, but observes them eating from afar, standing under a tree. A place at God's table is still too much to imagine. Abraham and Sarah seem to see the Holy One in the presence of the three, and their first instinct is one of invitation and hospitality, to create a space of food and drink for them. Here we have humanity still feeding God. It will take a long time to turn that around in the human imagination. Surely we ourselves are not invited to this divine table, they presume. This unique and multifaceted story inspired an equally unique and multifaceted piece of devotional religious art entitled The Hospitality of Abraham, also called simply the Trinity. I believe all genuine art is sacred. Self-consciously religious art is often trying too hard and descends into cheap sentiment. But the particular form of artistic expression that the Trinity, this piece of art form, belongs to, the icon, it attempts to point beyond itself, inviting in its viewers a sense of both the beyond and the communion that exists in our midst. The icon yields more fruits the more you gaze at it. Every part of it was obviously meditated on with great care. The gaze between the three, the deep respect between them as they all share from a common bowl, and note the hand of the Spirit pointing toward the open and fourth place at the table. Is the Holy Spirit inviting, offering, and clearing space? If so, for what? My fondest hope would be that these pages would reposition you in the mirror of divine fellowship with a place at that table. If you want to take this image into yourself as you read, I invite you to recognize that this table is not reserved exclusively for the three, nor is this circle, divine circle dance, a closed circle. We're all invited in. All creation is invited in, and this is the liberation that God intended from the very beginning. Well, there you have it, everybody. Today's episode. Shout out to my mom for her request. Shout out to my sister for her request. Shout out to all of my supporters and everybody that's been watching and hanging out. If you like what you see and you want to support me and help keep this grow, go ahead to patreon.com/ukesfordreams and see what I got going on. I'm incrementally growing. Thank you so much once again for being here. Until next one.